Well, Shemai, and welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you what work I've been doing on the mine and the wall. Thank you to all those people that replied to me when I asked a question about the retaining wall. I did take all your comments into consideration. I wanted to learn Inkscape and I wanted to do something that was personal to me and to my layout. So even though I could have gone ahead and used scale scenes, I decided that I was going to combine Inkscape and scale scenes together, in that I had a scale scenes brickwork which I thought fitted the retaining wall, because in the valleys most of the walls for the railways in the early 1900s and even up until the 1960s were made from rock, from the mountains, the side of the mountains, from the quarries around the area. So I decided to go with that. I took on board, for example, Stephen from Elvin Home. He mentioned about the arches. I did forget to put the arches in, and I am grateful to others for their suggestions about combining or trying different things. So yes, I've gone against the majority, but I'm quite happy with what I've done. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. I'm also grateful for a few other people I've looked at the videos that give me some suggestions, especially with the mine and the buildings around the mine. So thank you for that. I'll put cards up on the top when their input was used. And I hope you enjoy what I've done, and look forward to any comments or any suggestions you've got down below. And don't forget, press the button now, subscribe if you already haven't. All comments will be answered and all comments are welcome. So enjoy the video. It's one I particularly spent a long time doing, bits and pieces, but I'm happy with the result. So after all the comments from the last video, I redid my drawings on Inkscape and added in the arches that had been pointed out I missed. I also managed to do the tops. There's a picture of the arches, and you can see the brickwork is the coarse rubble, which suits what I'm after. So I made 6 of these, placed them down with the tops, and then I used some matte varnish to spray over them to fix the print. So I finished making these up. As you can see, I've also put some on the side, on the back, so that when I fix it in place that will be covered and be able to see that. And then I don't know if you can see this, I'll try and get it into view. I've also managed to put some coping stones on the top as well, so I think they look pretty good. I'm now going to try and get them fitted, sort of roughly see how they feel. I've also made up a number of these joiners, and they'll fit on either side like that, so that when they join together, when I've gone together, they'll hopefully hide that join. So yeah, so that's what it's going to look like. Let's give it a go. Right, so there's the space I'm going to put them in. I'll sit like that in front of the just got to bend that round a bit, force that round. I'm going to have to clear a bit of space down here so I can fit that in. And then these will just sit along there. And then what I've got to do on this point here, I don't know if you can see, I'll try and turn the camera. Now on this point, this starts to go up. So what I'm going to do is dig a channel out through all of that until they eventually reach the bridge over here. And it'll run all the way down that way like that. I'm quite happy with it. I like the look of it. I know quite a few people on the scale scenes, but by the time I do that and get that in front and then weather them a bit, hopefully they'll fit in. On this part over here, I'm just going to put a low relief wall, not a tall one like that, but just a low one there, and then there'll be steps there coming down to the hut on the side there, and then I've got to think of something to put on here, but I'll come to that later. But overall, I think I'm getting the look that I'm after. There'll be a lot of dirt on it, a few bits of grass, a lot of weathering, but it's going to look pretty good, I think. Hopefully, anyway. Come back later. You have to excuse the sound in the background. That's my heater that's on at the minute because it's freezing in here. But I made a start now, so as you can see, I've got the old walling coming from the bridge, coming along, and I've got to that point there where I just need to finish off. I'm just going to push that one in towards that gap there, but I'm hoping you can see that it's looking pretty good. So I'll just carry on with the glue gun, glue that into place, then I'll put the covers on the joins and I'll come back when I've done that. Okay, so having glued them in place, this is what we got so far. If you look down the side there, you can see that the wall extends all the way along now with the refuge sections all the way along to the bridge, which means that as the trains come in through underneath the bridge there, any derailment is going to be saved, and the coal wagons will stop here, round about here, and then this will be the coal mine. So what I've now got to do is just finish that bit off there, cut another piece, finish off that there. I've got to put the coping stones on the top of this section here, and then weather the wall. It's going to be a bit darker than that, so I'll just get the airbrush out with a bit of grey, and then just spray that a bit. In fact, I'm not going to get the airbrush out, I'm going to do dry brushing, give that a go. But yeah, I'm looking quite happy with it from a distance. It looks quite natural. It's a rubble effect, which is what I was after. Most of the walls and a lot of the houses built in the 30s and 40s down in South Wales were made from rubble, basically, stone houses. So I'm quite pleased with the effect, quite pleased. And then what I've got to do is just down the bottom there, you can see I've just got to fill in that gap there. I'll get some filler and fill that in. And at the time I had a touch of weeds and a bit of grass in there, and of course when that's ballasted you won't see any of that. So yeah, so I'm just going to finish off the little bits and pieces. To do that I need to go indoors, and then I'll get that finished, and then perhaps I'll crack on with making some steps to come down here, and then I'm going to have to think of something I can do here. I don't know what. We'll see. Once that's done, I've got my the sea form has arrived, so I just need to add a few more trees up there onto the farmscape. It's a bit barren at the minute, but I'll put some trees into the meadows and around the houses, and a few bits and pieces around here, and then I've got to carry on working on this bit, which I'll do today. I should just basically put another coat on trees and bushes just to finish it off, and then I do need to decide whether I'm going to put fence in there or a brick wall. I think a brick wall was probably going to be better because it'll carry on from that parapet there, and a brick wall around there just to finish that off. And then of course I've got to get the tarmac concrete road down to finish it. and that bit I'll probably leave, to be honest with you. Onwards and upwards, get in there. The scene's starting to look pretty good. A bit flat up there, I think. That's why I want to get the trees and bushes in, and by the time I get the cattle, and I've got to get some fencing in as well. But yeah, effective. See you later. So I've managed to get the finish of the wall done now. I've just added some bushes in there, just some brush at the bottom, to see what it'll do. I've weathered in that wall, and then on this side then I've created some steps going up there and a retaining wall. I don't know if you can see that okay, that's better. And then a retaining wall up to the top, and then from above I'll just try and show you now from above, so you can see there are steps going up, a little turn and a bit of earth on there, and I've just got to put a blank in bit over there, bit of wall over there just to block that off. And then the little linesman's hut will go there, and the rest of that one, that's got the track down properly, we all connected and running. I'll finish that off at the moment. I'm just gluing down this bit of track to see what it is, and then I'll get to weathering the rest of that and filling that in. So the scene's starting to look okay. Bit of grass in there, it's starting to come together. So I really need to get on with this mining bit, and that'll be tomorrow's work. Catch you later. So from the card cutout that I originally had there, I took that out, placed it over some plywood, and then jigsawed that plywood out, painting it with a brown just to give it a starting point, and then that will fit onto this section here. Use the brown to paint over. That should just drop. I'll have to do a bit of organisation with it, but that will just drop into there then nicely for me. Obviously I'm going to have to be able to pick it up and take it out, and that will lead that onto there. So now I've got to jiggle about and get the buildings in place, and then once I've got them in place, I'll use a glue gun, glue them all down, and then start doing the covering of this bit of grass, bit of brown, shrubs, bit of mess will be a little bit of junk, bits all over the place, and then the mine will come out. Yeah, starting to get there at last. As you can see, this is the position now that the wood will be. This is where the buildings will be. Try different things, different positions, but this is where I'm quite happy with it, with the boiler and the stack well away from the boiler house, the water tank, tool shed just down there in front of the mine opening, and then we've got the coal office there that I'll get stuck down on there, and then I'll be able to lift the whole thing up using the chimney and the coal office, and that'll just pull up for when I want to lift the mountain out of the way. So there'll be a wall on the side there to hide that difference between the plywood and the cork, and then as I've painted the rest of the thing to brown and all the way along there, just to pre-paint it before I put anything else down. So I think from a distance that'll look, it's starting to fill up now. We'll see where we go from there. That's all glued down, so hopefully you'll be able to see now. When I want to remove that, I can now remove this bit first, take it away, which is down there, and then I can remove the mounting, and then when I've sorted out the tracks I can just drop that back in place and it'll fit like that. And they've also put a small wall down the side here, just to differentiate. But looking at it, I think I'm going to have to take a cut away from there, I think. Yep. So I'm just going to cut this. probably to make a little gateway. Make sure that isn't stuck. Like that. So deliveries can come through here. So for example, we have the delivery van there. We got some coal vans, and then once I've got the rest of the bits in, you can see it fits quite snugly in there. And then from here then you can roll up the vans and the vans can drive off. So the next thing I've got to do now is build some coal staiths. I did put some, glued up these matchsticks and bring it a bit closer, these together there. So I'm now going to paint them. I'll just put some extra staiths there, probably just one there. Yeah, put one there, and then I've got to put the coal in the bunkers there. So there's my next jobs. Right, so I'm just going to put some coal in the bottom of this bit. So I've tipped it on its edge. I'm just putting some glue in there, and then I'm going to get some coal. And for this I'm using Woodland Scenic's Black Cinders Fine Ballast to start with, and then I'll need to work on something else for the actual dust. So a little bit in there. So there's my dust in there. Just pick it up with a brush, spoon it on, as it were. And what I do need to do then is to make some lumps for the coal. Now this is the same fine balance that I've used in other places, so I'll crack on with that. The idea then is that we'll give it the black underlay there. Oh, there's my phone. Give it the black underlay there, and I need to build that up into blocks. I'll also be sprinkling a lot of that fine dust around the tracks and other bits and places. So here we go. I need to sort that out. I don't know what I'm going to do for the coal. I suppose what I could do is make up some of this polystyrene. The plan was to cut this into a regular, break it up, and then paint it black, and then sprinkle some of that fine coal over there. I'll give it a go and see what it looks like. So I've sprinkled the dust in. I'll see if I don't know if you can see it. I'll try and zoom out and then bring it closer to you. So it's in there. Trust me, it is in there. And then I'm just going to use some of the dropper. Oh, what I didn't do is spray it first. I just need to have a little spray in there first just to wet it. And guess what, my spray's the other side of the camera. Back in a minute. And I'm back. Got my little spray. Just going to wet that down a little bit. And then hopefully, and then I'm going to use the dropper and then drop, that's better, drop it in there, and I'll just build up these layers as it dries just to hold it in place and seal all that in when that's dry. Hopefully it'll be quite good. So sorry, I've just moved it, so I don't know if you can see that. So there's a pile in there, and then I'm just going to make up my other ones, and I was going to sit on the outside. So I've that's the first bit, cleaned the edges, and then I've glued the uprights to it. And then what I'm then going to do is cut the other ones in half, like that, and then they will get glued, hopefully, to there, in the middle and on the end, and then I can build up the inside bits. So wish me luck without burning my fingers. The idea that fits into there. My fingers are in the way in a minute. No, that's not going to work because I've got some dry glue in. And then fiddly little buggers. That'll sit in there. And then that one in the middle. And when all that's dried, I got myself a nice little coal stayed. That will then go on the, get that painted up, and that will go on there then, and then I can start doing the groundwork. So there we have it, a bit of coal in there, that's still drying, and I've got to put the coal in there, but there's the stays, look pretty good there. The tool shed, and the boiler house, water tank and chimney, and they all lift out. So now I've got to just finish off the base. I've got the gap there for the deliveries. This will be a car park here, and I might even put a few more bits and pieces down into that bit there. But the scene is starting to come to life. I'm particularly pleased with that. Let's see what it looks like when it's dried. So I've now done the gown cover to make it look like a bit of earth. I've done that all the way around the back. That's not what I've done. I brush some glue down, sprinkled that on, and then once the glue is dry, give it a couple of hours, and I'll just turn it on its side and shake off the excess. Same around the tool shed and around the boiler house. A path that people would probably walk. There's very little I can do in this bit here because I'm waiting for my Z tracks and the little coal wagons to arrive. But I can do a bit of the rest. Round about there, what's left will be covered with grass, just to get a bit of different colour, and I put a few bushes around the sides of the boiler house, and of course weeds and stuff around here. Very little work goes on here, and then all that will sit inside the others. So hopefully start to come together. Enjoying it. It's very fiddly, very time consuming. You glue stuff down, you've got to wait for it to dry before you can mess around with it. So I've done what I can for now. I'm going to have a wash up and a tidy up, just to prove to you, you know, just show you the mess on my workbench here with the various colours and all the bits and pieces. So I'm going to get tidying up with that, and then I've got my model scenery supplies coming in from the Seaform starter box, so I'm going to have a go at that tomorrow, and I'll see what I can add to this bit here. What I really need is some animals and stuff, so that's on the Christmas list. We'll see. See how it comes up, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with what's going on. Just to show us all, I've just put some ballast down there. That's dry. I haven't soaked it in yet, just this bit to hold it in place to create that ledge, but this I'm leaving for the minute. I'm not going to put the dropper glue on it yet until I'm happy with it. I've still got a bit of work to do on there. I don't know what to do there yet. I mean, I know I want it for the wagons to turn around, so I could just do some just basic. It can't be grass, it has to be some sort of mud stroke concrete stroke roadway. But what I have done, I put in a stone wall at the back there just to fit that off. So again, I've got to wait for that to dry before I can do anything. So I'm going to have a look on the internet, look for some pictures to see what sort of things I could do in there. The other issue I've got to think about is lights, because now I've put those steps in there, I needed some sort of lamp there. So I've got these little Chinese made things, so this little one there will probably fit down there. That's fine. I'm going to have problems fitting lights here because A, the nearest of the track, I could fit it there I suppose, but I want to light this up at night. If I put it on there and I lift that up, then obviously I've got to make sure I've got long enough wires for it to be lifted up, but then it's still connected, so I won't be able to move it out. And the same with lighting the boiler house. I have problems with that. So what I might do is just put one there. The other way of doing it is to put another one sort of just there, so it hangs over. See what I mean? I'll just twist it around so it hangs over the wall. Or another way is just cut out some little holes along there. I just fit it the other side of the wall. But then when I lift it, I've got to be careful of the lamps. Things to think, or I might just not bother lighting it up at night. I don't know yet. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video. Yeah, I'm getting there bit by bit, struggling a little bit, trying to be creative, trying to make it interesting. But I'm learning all the time, which is the main thing. So I'll say, yeah, I don't think I'll do any more now. I'll say goodbye for now, and hopefully next time I show the video, this little bit will be fixed in, all done, all nicely done. I'll have finished, put some the Seaform bushes and trees in there, and then I can just call this a day for now, and then start looking at the next bit, which is probably going to be this corner here, because I'm having problems with these sets of points. Not with the small ones, I'm having problems with my new acquisition, which is the Flying Scotsman. And the problem is it's derailing on those points. That's the only set of points it derails on. So I'm going to have to look at those points. I might have to get a bigger set, and then that may mean, if I can't get it working properly, that may mean I'm going to have to change those points, which means those rails are going to have to come off. Wish I realised this before I started, but hey ho, that's all the fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for having the patience to bear with me, and I'll see you on another one. So for now, diolch yn fawr.